ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ओम श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ओम श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। So we were in the topic of Chaitanyatva Nityatva. So the Vishishtadvaitins say Chaitanyam or even the Jnanam, whatever we say, Jnana Swarupa, is not Nitya. Okay. And the Anubhava, these are all different words we use, correct? Anubhava, Anubhuti, Swarupa. So Anubhava or Jnanam is not Nityam because there is a Jnana Pragabhava or Anubhava Pragabhava. One knows that I did not have a particular Anubhava before and I am not having it now. So Prag Bhava also is there, Pradhamsa Bhava also is there for Anubhava. Therefore, it cannot be Nitya. This is their intention. In fact, this is based on the wrong understanding of the Vritti Jnanam as the Swarupa Jnana. That is their problem. In fact, in the last argument was with the Shruta Prakashikakara, who says while discussing Advaita and while negating our position, he is saying what Nanu Mrid Dravyasya Nityatvepi Ghatatwadi Avastha Mrid Dravyasya Anityatvavat Jnanakhya Dravyasya Nityatvepi Smrititva Anubhutitvadi Avastha Jnanasya Anityattameva. So what he is saying is, even though Mrit is Satyam or Nitya, but when you look upon Mrit in the form of a Ghata and other whatever Sharava, etc. are there, correct? So other Karya of Mrit, they are all in that state of being a part, it is Anitya. Therefore, it is Anitya. Similarly, Jnana also is a Dravya for them. Jnanakhya Dravya. So even though the Jnanakhya Dravya, it's Nitya, but Jnana in the form of Smriti, Anubhava, etc. are all in that state of being a memory or of being an experience. It is Anitya. So, Idrisha Anityatva Jnanasya eva parena Swayam Prakashatva Samanadikarana Anityatvam Uchyate iti. So, in this kind of the Anitya Jnana only, Parena means the others who are Advaitins. The Advaitins are saying that this kind of Anitya Jnana only is Swayam Prakasha. Okay. And how can it be Swayam Prakasha? Swayam Prakasha also then will become Anitya according to them. So this is what they are calling as Swayam Prakasha. So the Swayam Prakasha and the Jnana are in the same Adhikarana, correct? In the same locus. So this Anitya Jnana only is Swayam Prakasha. This is what is said by the Advaitins. Like this he says and he rejects it. So here now Vellangonda Ramaraya Kavi is highly amused by this. So he says Atra Uchyate Aho Shuta Prakashika Karasya Prajna Atishayaha. What a great intellect he has. Okay, why? Yatha Vastita Advaita Mata Pratikshepana Shaktataya. He is not able to negate the Advaita Siddhanta, the Advaita Mata. Okay. So what does he do? Nitya bhutam kalpanam advaite nipatya tad dushitavan. So whatever the Advaitins are not really saying, correct? We are not saying Vritti Jnanam is Nitya or Vritti Jnanam is Swayam Prakasha. So he is talking about Smriti Anubhavadi Avastha means it is basically Vritti Jnana. That is Anityam only. We are also not saying it is Nitya or it is Swayam Prakasha. But he takes it like that. This is what we call a straw man argument in English. So he puts up a straw man and knocks it off. Okay. So he imagines that Advaitins are saying this and then he is negating that. It's not really proper. Okay. So he explains that Nahi Vayam Indriya Sannikarshadi Janya Pratyakshatvadi Avastha Jnanasya Swayam Prakashatvam Nityatvam Cha Bhrumaha. So that's what he's clearly saying. We are not saying the Indriya Sannikarsha Janya Pratyakshatva, etc. Or even the Anumana which is happening in the mind are all Manovritti, correct? They are all Vritti Jnanam or they are all states of mind, really, correct? So Pratyakshatvadi Avastha Jnanam means Avastha here is basically the state of mind. So whether it is Pratyaksha or Anumana or Arthapatti, all these things are really taking place in your mind only, correct? It is a state of mind. Vritti itself can be called as a state of mind, really. So all these states of knowledge, we are not saying they are Swayam Prakasha or self-luminous and they are eternal. We are not saying that. Then what do we say? Kintu tad ajanyasya eva nirvikalpakasya iti. So what we are saying is the nirvikalpaka jnana, which is jnana swarupa or the very consciousness, which is unborn, correct? It is ajanya. That alone is nitya and swayam prakasha, not the janya vritti jnana. Vritti jnanam has a birth, correct? It has a time of birth. Janya is there. And then that vritti jnana will also end. How long it lasts and all, it is okay. There are different views on that. But it is going to be destroyed also. So vritti jnana is not the one we are talking about. Okay. So therefore, whatever he is saying only applies to the vritti jnanam that we also accept. Okay. Further he says, Atha yaduktam ridravyasya nityatvepi iti tad ayuktam anityatvat brahma bhinnasya. Okay. The other thing is what he said that even though mrit is nitya, but mrid avasthas like gata, etc. are anitya, even that we don't accept. Mrit is not nitya really. Anything other than Brahman cannot be nitya. Okay. So even that is wrong. Further what? Sarvasya swamatepi prakritehe eva nityatvena vridravyasya anityatvacha. Also, even in their own siddhanta also, prakriti is nitya. Okay. Not the etc. which are prakriti karya, correct? Which are all effects of prakriti. So even they do not really accept that as nitya. So even according to their own siddhanta also, this cannot be considered as nitya. Okay, the other thing, yacha uktam jnana dravyasya nityatvepi shruतित्वादि avastha jnana dravyasya anityatvam iti tadapi ayuktam. So whatever he said that jnana dravya is nitya and the smriti etc. states of knowledge, that is actually anitya, that dravya or that substance which is in the state of memory, etc. Okay, that also is not proper. Why? Yasya smrititvadi avasthaha santi tat dravyam jnanam kim nityam uta anityam. So what we are asking is what? The state of this knowledge, correct? That knowledge itself we are calling as a substance. Dravyam means really a substance or entity. Now that substance, the jnana dravya according to you, which is having the states, different states like memory, direct perception, inference, etc., whether that dravya is nitya or anitya. That is the question we are asking. Now you cannot say it is nitya, na adhyaha. Why? Avasthavatvena anityatva, that which has avasthas, different states, cannot be nitya. It will always be anitya only. Anything which has different states means it is changing, correct? Vikari, it will become vikari. So anything which really undergoes different states of existence, they will all be only anitya. So you cannot say it is nitya. Okay, can you say it is anitya means na dvitiyaha? Okay, why? Because dhritvadi avasthavataha anityasya jnanantarasya abhava. Okay, if something is anitya, how do you know it is anitya? You require a nitya vastu to even know the anityatvam of something else, correct? Itself cannot know its own anityatvam. So you require something else, but there is no other jnana to know this jnana. So you cannot say anitya also. Whatever you say according to your siddhanta, it doesn't work out. Okay. So there is no jnanantara. Jnanantarasya abhava. You cannot say it is anitya also. There is no way of establishing that. Therefore, what? Okay, once we say this, they then give another argument. What? Tade nacha tadev nityam jnanam smrityadi avasthayuktam sat anityam bhavati iti vachyam. See, that jnana which is nitya, but being nityam also, it can take avastha. That is their contention. It takes up this avastha of smriti, etc. And taking or being the one which has these avasthas only, it becomes anityam. So they are doubling down on that. Okay, you cannot say that. Na vachyam. Why? Nityasya vastunaha avastha yoga. That's what he is again making this point, that that which is nitya cannot have any avastha. It cannot undergo different states and all that. So he explains that further. What? Kshiratva dadhitvadi avastha hi anityasya kshira dravyasya sambhavati. So the milk can be there in the form of milk or it can become curd. Okay, it in fact it becomes, it modify, there is a modification, correct? Parinama. Now that parinama or modification and the resulting state which is becoming curd is possible because the kshira dravya itself is anitya. Okay, but if you say something is nitya, then it cannot have any avastha. Okay, nityam avasthavaditi hi vipratishiddham. So you cannot say that something is nitya and it is also avasthavat. Avasthavat means what? That which has different states. Something cannot be eternal and also have different states. That is contradictory. It is vipratishiddha. Avasthavat avasthavatvasya vikaritva rupatvat vikarinascha nityatvat. So why? Because if you say something has different states, that means it is going from one state to another state, correct? And if it is going from one state to another, then it is a vikari. It modifies, it changes. And anything which has change, okay, cannot be eternal. Change itself is really destruction only speaking, correct? How can it be eternal and still have change? That which is the changeless, invariable in each and every cognition alone is nitya, which is Chaitanya. So it will become vikari, and that which is a vikari cannot be nitya. Okay. Once we say this, now they are trying to get to us. So now he is saying, Tvayapi gatavachinnam chaitanyam anityam iti uchyate. So he is saying, you are also saying the consciousness which is conditioned, okay, by the ghata, etc. Ghata avachinna chaitanya we talk about. That is anitya. You are saying that So for you also, Chaitanya is having different states, like Gata Avachinnatvam also is a state of consciousness only, correct? So then for you also it is the same thing. You are saying Chaitanyam is Nitya, but Ghata Avachinna Chaitanya is Anitya. Tvaya api Uttam. You are also saying the same thing. Then why are you pointing this to me? Like this, they are asking, means that you cannot say na vachyam. Why? Tatra Ghatasya eva Nityatvam na Chaitanyasya. So here the Upahitatvam is there, correct? And the Upadhi is there. The Upadhi alone is Anitya, not the Upahita Chaitanya. Understand that. Even whatever the Upahita Chaitanyasya Anityatvam is only from the standpoint of the Upadhi being born and Upadhi getting destroyed. Correct? Chaitanya is always the same. It is as it is. So, only the Ghata is Anitya here or whatever, any other Upadhi you can think of. And it is not Chaitanya which is Anitya. So that is very clear. Tatra ghatasya eva anityatvam na chaitanyasya iti. Okay. Yadi tatha tvamapi smriti anubhavadinam eva anityatvam na tu jnanasya iti brushe tarhi shivam. If even you say that smriti etc. Anubhava like that is anitya, fine. We will also accept that jnana is still nitya. Okay. If you accept that, then it is mangalam, it is shivam, it is fine. But you people don't say that, okay? In fact, what do they say? He's saying that further, yad anena uktam swayam prakashatva nityatvayoho vayadhikaranyam tad ativa parihasaspadam. So the Vishishtadvaitins say the nityatvam and swayam prakashatvam are not there in the same entity, same locus. So they are talking about a vayadhikaranyam. They are saying Nityatva is there in one dravya, Swayam Prakashatvam is somewhere else. Okay. It is in another dravya or another Vishishta. Okay. So they are talking about Vayadhikaranyam there. Vayadhikaranyam means different entities or different locus. That Ativa Parihasaspadam is it is it is very laughable. Why? Yat Swayam Prakasham na bhavati tat swatah siddham na bhavati. That which is not self-revealing can also not be self-existent. Something, if it is self-existent, means it has to reveal itself to you. So self-existent alone can be self-revealing. These two things are not two different things. In fact, Sat eva Chit. That's why we say whatever is Satyam alone is Chaitanyam also. And the other way around also. Yet swatah siddham na bhavati. Tan nityam cha na bhavati iti siddhanta. And that which is not swata siddha, okay, and swayam prakasha cannot be nitya. Okay, that is the siddhanta. Therefore, you cannot say the swayam prakashatva and nityatva are there in two different things. They have to be the same. Okay, right? All these words have to point to the same vastu. They cannot be there in two different vastus. Further, what yaduktam jnana anityatvadina anityatva ramanujena. Okay, यः अस्य अनुपलभ्या एव संवित् प्राग अभाव सिद्धिः इति तदसत्. Okay, further the jnana anityattvavadi. Okay, those who say that jnana is not nitya, it is anitya, and Ramanujana, like Ramanuja. So what he says is that samvit has pragabhava, Chaitanya or jnana has pragabhava, can be known through anupalabdhi pramana also, they are claiming. Okay, Rinupalabdhihi upalabdhi abhava. Anupalabdhi means what? If you are not able to experience something, but if it had been there, you would have experienced it. Correct? That is the whole point. So I don't see a pot. And the conditions are such that if the pot is there, then I would have seen it. Therefore, what is the conclusion? Pot is not there. So basically, it is upalabdhi abhava. Anupalabdhi is a pramana itself is based on upalabdhi abhava. And upalabdhi itself is what? Anubhava. Correct? Upalabdhi is anubhava, direct perception. Therefore, what you are when if you say anubhava pragabhava is known by anupalabdhi, what you are really saying is anubhava abhava is known by another anubhava abhava, which doesn't make any sense, correct? So that's what he will say. See, tathacha anubhava abhavena anubhava pragabhava grihyate iti praptam. So what is the implication of your statement? That anubhava abhava is known through, or it's pragabhava. Basically, the pragabhava, the prior non-existence of anubhava is known by anubhava abhava. That's what the implication of whatever your statement. So there again, what if we analyze that, it's not going to make any sense. Okay, so he's saying tatra ubhayoho anubhavayoho ubhayoho abhavayoho cha abhede atmashrayah. So how can you make any difference between one anubhava abhava and another anubhava abhava? There is no, in abhava you cannot have any visheshana, correct? So there is no difference. Means then one anubhava abhava knows itself or whatever, it becomes an atmashraya dosha will come. Self-dependence, atmashraya. That is a problem. Now you say, no, no, somehow there is a bheda between one anubhava abhava and another. Then who is the one who is knowing this? So bhede sacha anubhava abhava kena grihyate. Who is knowing this anubhava abhava? That cannot be abhava, correct? It has to be anubhava antara. So if you say anubhava antarena chet, anyonya ashrayadayaha. So there you will have anyonya ashraya, etc. Problem will come, or anavastha dosha. All these things we have seen already, or it is even contradictory. So all these problems will come. So whatever you say doesn't make any sense. Okay, nacha yadi atra घटः स्यात् तर्हि उपलभ्येते यतः न उपलभ्यते ततः न घटः इतिवत् यद् इदानीम् अनुभवः स्यात् तर्हि उपलभ्येत न तु उपलभ्येत तस्मात् नास्ति अनुभवः इति अनुभव अभावः साध्यते इति वाच्यम्. Okay. So even though we say all these things, they are still saying the same thing. What? See, like I already said, anupalabdhi means what? If something would have been there, like a pot, then I would have experienced it. But it was not, but I am not experiencing it, so therefore it is not there. Similarly, if anubhava or experience has been there, I would have experienced it, but there is no anubhava or experience. Therefore, the anubhava abhava also is possible, correct? Why are you saying it is not possible? This is their question. Okay. So they are making something like anumana, like if ghata, similar to ghata, anubhava abhava also should be known by anupalabdhi. Okay. Because ghata abhava we are knowing through anupalabdhi, then you do an anumana. I'm saying anubhava abhava also, therefore, can be similarly known through anupalabdhi, ghata abhavavat. Okay. If you say this word, you cannot say that. Okay. Why? Because यदि अनुभवस्य उपलभ्यमानत्वम् अस्ति तर्हि एवं साध्येत न तु तदस्ति. See, ghata can be experienced. Okay, it is upalabhya manatvam is there in the ghata, but anubhava itself cannot be experienced. How can you experience anubhava? So, Anubhava does not have Upalabhyamanatvam. It cannot be something which is object. You cannot objectify it and experience it. Ghata is an object. So, it has the dharma of being experienced. It can be something which is experienced. But Anubhava is not the same. It does not have the Upalabhyamanatvam. Okay. So, whatever you say is not proper. No, okay. Further, he is saying, Kincha ghatasya upalabdha atma asti natu anubhavasya kachid asti upalabdha. So, we say, like for ghata, who is the knower finally means the sakshi atma only you have to say. Correct. I know the part. Atma is the upalabdha. I am experiencing the part. But then similarly, you cannot say for Anubhava. Anubhava does not have any Upalabdha or the experiencer of experience. It is not like that. Experience itself cannot be experienced. Once we say this word, no, they say Anubhava is separate, Atma is separate. They are not the same. So that is the next argument. So what? So next is what? Nacha Atma asti iti vachyam. So you cannot say Atma is there, which knows the Anubhava or its absence like this. That is not proper. You cannot say that now Vachyam. Why? Atma itself is Anubhava. There is no difference, correct? Tasya eva Anubhavatva. Atma itself is Anubhava. So you cannot say Atma is experiencing experience. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Further what? Atha. Okay. Further. Nacha pramata asti iti vach. The knower is there still. Even though if Atma is not there, if you say Atma is experience, but somebody knows even this Atma or experience, Pramata, that also you cannot. Pramata asti iti na vachyam. Why? Pramatu swarupasya eva anubhavatva. The anubhava or jnanam which we are talking about, it is the very nature of the knower. It is of the very nature of the knower. So the knower cannot objectify this jnanam or anubhava. In fact, the knower is there because of this jnanam or anubhava being there, not the other way around. Okay. So pramatuhu swarupasya eva anubhavatva. Anubhava is the pramatu swarupam. So you so you cannot say that the pot is there because of clay, correct? Clay is not there because of pot. Like that, pramata is there because of jnana. Because pramatu swarupa is jnana. That swarupa is mrit. Pramatu swarupa is jnana. So it's not the other way around. Therefore, what tasmat na anupalabdhi pramanat anubhava abhava siddhihi. So anubhava abhava cannot be established through anupalabdhi pramana. So therefore what? Atha yad uktam Ramanujena pratyaksha jnanam swavishayam ghatadikam swasatta kale santam sadhayat tasya na sarvada sattam avagamayat drishyata iti ghatadehe पूर्वोत्तर काल सत्ता न प्रतीयते तद अप्रतीतिश्च संवेदनस्य काल परिच्छिन्नतया प्रतीतेः. Okay, see, Ramanuja says this. What does he say? Pratyaksha jnanam swavishayam gatadikam swasatta kale santam sadhayate. First. So the pratyaksha jnana, whatever you experience, its own vishaya, whatever it may be, like pot, etc., their existence it is establishing, correct? Pot is. So when you see the pot, you know that pot is. Now that pot is, how does it establish? By its own satta. Swasattaya eva. First the jnanam has to be there. Then only it can shine on the Vishaya and establish the existence of the Vishaya. Correct? Swasattaya eva. It is by its own existence. it lights up the Vishaya and then also establishes the existence of the object of cognition. Okay. But what? But this part is not always revealed by Pratyaksha also. Pratyaksha Jnanam is Kshanika, or you can say it is there for a few Kshanas, or whatever. The part cognition, when it is replaced by another object cognition, it is gone. Whichever way you look at it, it is Parichinna. Know that Parichinnatvam, what they say is very interesting. That's what. See, Tasyana Sarvada Satta Sattam Avagamayat Drishyate iti. So, this Satta of the part, it does not make you known all the time. Because once the part vritti is gone, then some other thing you know means the part Satta is gone. It is not all the time revealing that to you. Why? Because its own Kala Parichinnatvam is there, he says. Jnanam itself is Kala Parichinna. It itself is limited by time. Therefore, its ability to reveal the object also will be limited by time. That is their contention. Very interesting. So, Sattam न सर्वदा अवगमयत दृश्यत इति घटादेः पूर्वोत्तर काल सत्ता न प्रतीयते. So it does not reveal the ghata's existence before the cognition started, and it cannot reveal the existence of ghata after the cognition is over. Correct? After the vritti is over. So purvottara kala satta, the pratyakshadi pramana cannot tell you. Only while it is revealing, it is also revealing the existence of the object. By its own existence, it is revealing that. But why it is not able to reveal all the time the part? Means that is because the jnana itself is parichinna, kala parichinna, he says. So, tad apratitischa samvedanasya kala parichinnataya pratite. So, the samvedana or jnana itself, chaitanyam itself, is kala parichinna because of its own kala parichinnatvam only. Tad apratitischa pratitehe. So, it is not known. That means the part is known only while it is being revealed, and it cannot be known before or after, etc. That is because the jnana itself is limited. And further, what ghatadi vishayameva samvedanam swayam kala anavichinnam sat pratitam chet samvedana vishayaha ghatadihi api kala avachinnaha pratiyeta iti nityaha syat iti. So then they are saying the other way around. If the samvedana is nitya, let us say, correct? It doesn't have any kala parichinnatvam. That means even the vastu it is revealing should not have any kala parichinnatvam. That means you see part, you have to be seeing part all the time. You cannot see anything else. Because the part jnanam, the jnanam itself is nitya, means whatever object it is revealing also should be always nitya. That is not the case. That is their point here. Therefore, jnanam also is parichinna only. This is ayukta, he says, tad ayuktam. It's not proper. Why? Yadi gata dehe vishayasya kala parichinnatvat tad vishayakam pratyaksha jnanamapi kala parichinnam iti uchyate tarhi vishayasya ishwarasya atmanascha nityatvad tad vishayam pratyaksham nityameva iti kimiti na uchyate. So now we ask him, see, you are talking about gatadi vishaya, and Gatadi Vishaya have Kala Parichinnatvam, fine. Okay. Because of that, Tad Vishayaka Pratyaksha Jnana. The Jnana also, which makes the Gata as a Vishaya, that Jnana also is Kala Parichinna, you are saying. But then you also see Ishvara is Nitya. Ishvara also is Jnana Vishaya only, correct? You are also talking about Jnanam. Ishvara Jnanam and all that. Then Ishvara and Atma also is Nitya. All these things, how can it become Nitya then? Okay. If you say Jnana and Ishvara or Atma and Ishvara are Nitya, Tad Visheka Jnanam also has to be Nitya according to you, correct? So how can it be not? So we are asking, what about the Ishvara Jnanam, Atma Jnanam, etc.? They are Nitya or Anitya? Tell me now. Okay. So Nityameva iti kimiti na uchyate. Okay. So once we ask this, what now we are also saying? Now they can say what the answer is what? Gatadistale pratyakshasya anityatva darshanaad Ishvara atmastalepi tad anityameva iti vachyam. Okay, now they are saying no. Even though Ishvara and Atma are Nitya, the Jnanam which is revealing Ishvara and Atma is Anitya. Like this they are saying. Okay. But you cannot say that in the other case, you are saying because Jnana is revealing Anitya Vastu, Jnana also has to be Anitya. That is what you have established as Anitya. Now, we are saying that you yourself say Ishvara and Atma are Nitya, but Jnana is revealing that also. But still it is Anitya, how you can say? If it is revealing Nitya, then Jnana also should become Nitya, correct? So you cannot say one thing in one case and another thing in another situation. That means there is no consistency in whatever you say. It is not proper. So you cannot say that let that, even though it is, let that jnanam which reveals Nitya Atma, Nitya Ishvara, etc. also be Anitya. You cannot say that. Okay. So that is not proper. Why? Ishvaratmastale tannityatva darshanat ghatadistalepi tannityatvam eva iti kimiti na uchyate. In fact, we will say the other way around. What? If you say like this, Advaitins, what we will say? Since this jnanam is revealing Ishvara and Atma, which is Nitya, even in the Ghatadisthala also it is Nitya, we can say, correct? Why should it be the other way around? We will say like this. So what is your answer for this then? Okay. We are saying since jnanam is revealing Nitya Atma and Nitya Ishvara, even though it may reveal Anitya Ghata, it is still Nitya. Why can't we say like this? Okay. Therefore, what? So now they are saying what? Samvedanasya nityatve tad vishayi ghataadihi api nityaha syat iti na vachyam. So you cannot say what? Samvedana is nitya. Okay. Tad vishayaha ghataadihi api nitya. So now the other way around he is saying, since jnanam is nitya, then pot etc. also will become nitya. This also one cannot say. Why? Samvedanasya anityatve tad vishayaha brahmadihi api anityaha eva syaditi kimiti na uchyate. So even here also we are asking, according to you, samvedana is anitya, then why we can't say the samvedana vishaya like Ishvara, Brahman, Atma, etc. also become anitya? In fact, they both relating them like this itself is wrong. That's what we are trying to point out. Therefore, what tasmat pratyakshasya स्वविषये नित्यत्व अनित्यत्वाभ्याम नित्यत्व अनित्यत्वे वक्तुम न शक्येते. So, see, for this pratyaksha jnanam or any jnanam, in fact, you cannot establish their nityatva or anityatva based on the vishaya itself. The object of cognition cannot be used as a criteria or a factor in determining whether consciousness itself is eternal or not. That's not correct. Okay. Because if you say like this, then we can say something else which doesn't fit in with your own Siddhanta also. So this kind of logic is not proper. So what do we say? Kincha घट संवेदनस्य क्षणिकत्वेपि यद्वा त्रिचतुर क्षण स्थायित्वेपि घटस्य मासादिस्थायित्व अवगम्यते स्थायित्वम् अवगम्यते तत् कथम् उपपद्यते घटस्य संवेदन समकालत्वं संवेदनस्य न अघट समकालत्वम् अपि च किं संवेदनं स्वपूर्वोत्तरकालयोः घटस्य अभावं बोधयति यद्वा पूर्वोत्तरकालयोः. Okay, so now what we are asking is, further what we are saying is samvedana is shanika. Now because of that you are also saying the object also becomes anitya, or the object is anitya because of which samvedana is anitya. Whichever way you see, you say, that also is not correct. We are trying to point out why. Because everybody accepts that this vritti jnanam is shanika. It is there for only one moment, or it is there for a few seconds, let us say tri chaturakshana. But still thought etc are there for months together, correct? The thought is not there only when you are seeing it. In the vyavahara, everybody accepts that only the pratibhasika is when you see alone it is there, correct? But in vyavahara, even if you don't see it is there, otherwise you can't do any vyavahara. So in vyavahara you cannot say that. So gata etc have masadi sthayitva. Masa or even years it can be there. You buy a pot, particularly if you buy a metal pot, it can be there for many years together also. Therefore, whatever you are saying that ghatasya anityatva is due to the anityatvam of the samvedana or anubhava, that is not correct. The ghata seems to be there for a longer time. The samvedana ends, the cognition ends, but ghata is still there. How is that possible then? Therefore, the ghatasya samvedana samakalatvam you cannot say. Ghata is there only while you are seeing it. That cannot be said. Okay, it is that means you will become like Buddhist then. Okay, therefore, and further what? Samvedanasya na aghata samakalatvam. Also, samvedana will not be there when the ghata is not there. That also you cannot say. Okay. So all these problems are there. So in fact, we ask you the question. अपि च किं संवेदनं स्वपूर्वोत्तरकालयोः घटस्य अभावं बोधयति यद्वा पूर्वोत्तरकालयोः. What are you really trying to establish? Whether the consciousness or cognition establishes the abhava of ghata, okay, or the ghata is establishing the abhava of the cognition by its own purvottara kala. See, are you saying that the samvit is parichinna, kala parichinna? So cognition is not there before. While the cognition is there, ghata is cognized. Cognition ends, ghata is no more cognized. Does the start and end of the cognition establish the ghatas purvottara kala, or ghatas purvottara kala is establishing the start and end of the cognition? What do you really say? Okay. Now, na adhyaha, you cannot say the first one because why? What? Sammodhanat purvottara kalayopi ghatasya sattvat. So in the vyavahara, ghata is there even before you cognize it. In fact, you cognize it because it is there. And after you have cognized also, your cognition is over, you are cognizing something else. Gata is still there. That's why you are able to come back and do some vyavahara with that. So Gatasya Sattvam is not dependent on the Sattvam of the cognition itself. So Adhyaha you cannot say. So that's what we are saying. Vyavaharikasya Gatasya Astihi Ajnata Satta. So this is what we say. Ajnata Satta is there for in the Vyavahara. Only Pratibhasika does not have Ajnata Satta. But even while you are not knowing it, it exists. That we have to accept in the Vyavahara. That he further says, Nahi kopi anunmattaha idanim mama gata pratyaksham jatam iti idanim eva gataha asti itaha purvottara kshanayoho gataha nasit na bhavishyati iti pratyeti. So other than crazy people, normal people will not say what now I have gata pratyaksha, I perceive the gata, and therefore what? Gata is there only now. Gata was not there before, and gata will not be there after my cognition or perception ends. Nobody says like that. Okay. If that is the perception, nobody will even use the gata to fetch water, correct? There won't be any vyavahara possible. So nobody does that. So whatever you are saying doesn't make any sense. Okay. Okay. Once we say all these things, they are coming back and saying even Advaitis say the same thing. Okay, because in Advaita also there is a Drishti Srishti Vada is there. There is Srishti Drishti Vada and Drishti Srishti Vada. You people also say the same thing. So why can't I say something like that? He is going to argue. We'll see that in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
ధన్యవాదాలు.